welcome to another edition of the hottest, fastest growing R&B podcast around. This Can We Talk R&B podcast with myself, Nnamdi, out here in the UK, and our brother over here, Omar, out in the States.
I'm excited to be here, guys. This is Omar Hudson, and I
Yeah,
can't wait, guys. We got a good show today.
yeah. You know what? Whitney Houston just turned. Just turned. She would have been around 60 this year, and
Hmm.
one of the things I'm sure you appreciated her as an artist, and I just wanted to find out from you
Y'all
where
did.
you think her career and her legacy into music was. I mean, is she was she one of the best female R&B vocalists or vocalists in general that we've had?
I don't need to say it. Billboard has said it. Rolling Stone has said it. I mean,
Mm.
it's cemented, so it doesn't matter what people try to say. She's been cemented in history as the voice. She's been cemented in history as one of the best, if not the best, female singers of
Mhm.
all time. And I mean, the stats are there. I mean, if there's a bait, go look at her stats, go look at her what she's been able to do. But you can't read it all from stats. You have to also factor in impact and who cites her as an inspiration. Because
Mm.
many people will look at the stats and say Mariah, but Mariah was inspired by Whitney Houston. So,
Yeah.
she was influenced by Whitney Houston. Most of the female singers of the 90s that we, adored, like Faith Evans, Deborah Cox, Tamia, they all were influenced by Whitney Houston and then
What
went
made her
and were in the
special?
hall.
What do you think made Whitney stand out?
Um, I think she had a very um unique gift vocally. I think that she tone wise, um, material wise, she had a good team of people around her, definitely a good record company that understood the
Mm.
same strategy as a Motown. Let's bring hits. Let's cultivate the image. Let's make sure that the package that is being presented
Mm.
is top notch. When you buy an album, there's top notch songs on there. It's not just one good song on there and everything's a throwaway.
Yeah.
It's so that she also has a certain charisma and personality about her. Even when she came out, she still had a little personality. She didn't just stand there shyly.
Yeah.
She definitely had a presence. And she was just so uniquely gifted and talented at a young age. She was very young when she was introduced to us. Her mother was a singer. And
Mm.
there was, this whole thing about, the teacher, I mean, the student can't surpass the teacher.
Yeah.
Clearly, in this scenario, Whitney um, learned from her mother, but she was able to have a bigger career than her mother.
Do you
And
think
her
that?
mother was also someone that worked. She sang backgrounds with Aretha and a lot of different people in the day before. I mean, in the years before. So
Yeah.
yeah, she's pretty much seasoned, but I think a lot of people grew to fall in love with her. She wasn't always accepted because the black audience in the beginning of her career were a little reluctant because I think Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson, someone jokingly called her Whitey Houston. So she
Wow.
she
Yeah,
experienced
because she was
racism in
booed
her time
at
too.
Soul Train
Yeah,
Awards. Why do you
because
think that was the case?
that was because people did not see her as soul music or
Wow.
R&B music, which really crushed her. So she has a lot of different layers and different things that have created her personality and her experience, and she's had a lot of pressures, but people eventually warmed up to her. I
Mm.
think that when you're always, it's kind of the Beyonce, let's use Beyonce, I think that's a more recent example. When
Mm.
you're constantly winning and you're topping the charts, and there are other artists that people think are great too, and you're eclipsing them, there is going to be a little bit of emotional, it's all irrational, but you just
Mm.
like, I don't like that person because they're stealing the spot that I think Shaka Khan should have or Phyllis
Mm.
Hyman should have. And if you're a fan of those particular artists, even though Whitney made in on on paper or in success wise is doing better,
Yeah.
you're still feeling like this artist should be recognized like that. So there's going to be a little backlash, and I think that that was a part of it. Again, I didn't live during that time, and I was, well, I won't say I didn't live. I probably was alive, but very, very young. But from what
Yeah.
I'm gathering in information and speaking to people, because I've always been a student of older people, um, their impression of that time was, yeah, there was a disconnect with the Black audience with artists that were perceived to be going pop. That's always, and there was a time where it was not popular for Black artists to do pop music. You know,
Mm,
um, I believe Johnny Mathis is Black, so he's another one. It's like a lot of people that we don't really even associate. Well, there's certain people we don't
mm,
associate to some degree. We don't have them in the conversation when we talk about R&B.
mm.
But a lot of what Whitney did was based in soul and R&B. She grew up
Yeah.
in the church. She was a very strong singer. Okay, what were you gonna say?
Did
I'm sorry.
yeah, did it make a difference that she didn't write her own songs? Because that was the sort of the
No,
first
because
time as a kid. I
no.
didn't realize that an artist don't. I thought all artists just write a song, but I always knew
So
that
you
she
thought New
didn't.
Edition wrote their song?
No, but as I said, she was one of the first people that when I was coming to understand music, and this was still very young, and she was always talking about different songwriters, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. It was, as I said, new to me, but I do wonder,
Um,
did it mean that she could just focus on interpreting the song, as
that's
opposed
the difference.
to like let me try and write a hit, as or get somebody who knows how to deliver the right type of song to fit my voice.
Well, I don't think it mattered because it clearly the formula worked. They brought her
Mm,
great, the top of the line songwriters who brought her great, and not just top of the line. They broke new art, new songwriters with her too.
yeah.
People they focused on bringing her hit records the same way Motown did.
Mm,
Dinah Ross didn't write all those hits. She didn't write for the Supremes, you know. The Temptations didn't write their own songs. Mary Wells didn't write her own songs. That was something at that time that was very accepted and very normal.
mm,
Most of the female artists, Shaka Khan, they didn't write their songs. So that was something that was never an expectation of the artist. And it
mm,
was an added bonus. You did have artists like Stevie Wonder, maybe Patrice Rushen, Brenda Russell, who were strong songwriters and writing for themselves as well as other
mm,
people. But Whitney Houston was a dynamic package. Her vocals made up for any other shortcomings, whether it was dancing. She was not really a dancer per se, but she was a
yeah,
great performer.
yeah,
She didn't write her own songs, but like I said, her voice was all she needed. Celine Dion
yeah,
didn't write her songs, and Celine Dion is respected everywhere. So,
yeah. I think I always remember when she did the commercial for AT&T, and then she just comes out and just sings a note, and they said this is the voice and stuff. I mean, just finally, as we wrap up, what would be your all-time favorite sort of Whitney Houston song?
hmm, I love saving my love for you. I mean, there's so many songs I could just literally pretty much every single she's released. I like all of her songs. I like I Will Always Love You. It's just so many. Run to You. I mean, there's so many songs. I mean,
But if you
I
had to
can't even
pick
go
one,
through all
could
of them.
you pick one?
I can't pick one. No, because they're
Okay.
that good. Now there
Yeah.
are some artists where like Osaka Khan or maybe there are some people,
Mm,
Stephanie Mills, Gladys Knight, I'll have a favorite. But with Whitney, there's so many songs I love. And it's not that I'm not speaking. No, remember, guys, I'm not just speaking from a fans. I usually when I had these conversations, I'm very neutral, and I try to be um, unbiased.
mm,
But looking at, I'm trying to be as honest as possible, and I do love a lot of her music. That's the difference between her and a lot of artists. You'll get their albums, and you'll like maybe one song, maybe
mm.
two. She does really well with her albums. Her albums are cohesive. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my favorite I can always remember is all the man that all the he's all I got. I'm all the is it all the man I ever on all the man I ever wanted.
All the Man That I Need.
All the one man that I need.
Yeah, that's off the I'm Your Baby Tonight album.
Because I
Yeah.
remember when that album, but that single came out here in the UK, and it was like it made the top 20, and number one was I think it was like Alice in Chains or something like that, or AC/DC. And of course, I'm thinking, how can this song be number 20 and this rock song be in number one or so? So this is when I start to understand that there's a difference between music and stuff. So that song was always
Well,
one that I
yeah,
remember.
racially.
And
I know
and
you.
and
This is where you when you were in UK, right?
yeah, when I was in the UK, I just couldn't
Okay.
understand
We
how
barely have a
people's
black
taste of
color.
music where you're putting this. It was Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. I can't remember. Anyway, guys, let us know what your thoughts. As I said, we just want to remember and honor Whitney. She would have been 60 this year, and she was a voice. She was unique, and she's missed and gone too soon.
Yes, we miss you, Nippy. Guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. Share your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section. What do you think about Whitney and her impact on music and American music and international music in general? Thanks. See you next time.
All right.
Thanks again for watching, guys.
And before we go, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Yeah, and also remember to turn on the notification so you can know when we have another show. But thanks again.
That too.
All right.